Welcome, scalpers. Let me show you what I do every morning to draw my very own support and resistance lines. I know there's software now that does it for you. This is just a old school way that I have been doing it. It's also in the manual that probably no one ever looks at anymore. But what I do is grab a horizontal line and I'm going to put these lines wherever there's a high for the day, a low for the day, and also where a high meets a low. Like, see this high right here, this little top? Well, if it lines up with another low, like let's say down here, I'm going to lay this across. I'm going to do this on a large amount of time. Like, I'm going to scrunch up days. You can see I already did this. And I just want to give you an example what I mean by that. So if I find multiple points like this and like this that line up with other areas, especially points going down like lows, I'm going to lay the line right over it. Like here I have a nice little high top right here, and then I have some lows that kind of match it. It doesn't have to be perfect, something like that. I'm going to lay my line across it. Or if I right here I have a bunch of lows lining up, well, I'm going to put a line there too. These are important little areas to look out for. So as you can see, I already did this the last few days, and we're going to see how it looks on a chart when I zoom in. See here I have a little point here and then another one right here. What I really like is when there's a high point and then a low point. That's what I really look for. And I just lay my lines on them. And I scan as I go down to see if there's anything important anywhere and lay my line. Now we're looking at a 5 minute, but it's helpful to go to like a 15 minute as well. It makes it a little easier to find really important ones because everything lines up really nicely on the 15. And as if I'm scrunching time, it scrunches better so I can look at a bunch of days. So that's what I do. It's not really hard, a little tedious. Like right here, I have multiple points lining up right here. One, two. I don't have a top hitting it, and that's what I really want it to look for. But let me put a line right there. So that's what it looks like when I scrunch a bunch of days. And then when I come back to, let's say, a 5 minute, and then let's look at the current day. There are not so many of them. So we'll do this and we'll see how price reacts to these lines at the end of the day. And if we go to a 1 minute, this is what it looks like. Look at that. Now this is before the market opens in New York. So I usually get this done, you know, right when I get to my computer first thing after I check the news, put these lines up, and they're pretty good and they're pretty accurate. as far as support resistant lines or target lines, and I mean you'll see that they help out. They're pretty good. Now if we throw let's say Ultimate AI on top of here, and here's Ultimate AI on top of here, not bad. Anyways, they help me out. Feel free to do this as well. Just another easy way to put support and resistance lines up, or lines that will help you make some decisions. So right now it's about 6:20 on the West Coast, and we already did the lines for the day. I'll come back to this at the end of the day and see how if price reacted to any of these lines. Okay, so here we are at the end of the day. Trading day is over. Let's go back and look how our lines performed. Let's see, we started back just before around 6 a.m. I'm on the West Coast. So we'll look at the 5 minute and we'll scroll through. As you can see, the bounce here, the bounce here, and we'll scroll through and see how the 5 minute worked. There was some action here. We had the opening, or actually, we had the opening here and then a big shoot up. And we're just watching how the reaction is to the blue lines that we painted earlier, or we drew those and put them in place. See how it's hovering around that one blue line. And that's the day on the 5 minute. So it did interact with some of the blue lines that we drew. Came all the way up here, came down to this line, then it hovered around this line a lot, all the way down into here and back up to this line. Well, let's break it down on the 1 minute and see how it performed. Let's change this to 1 minute. Okay, so here's our 1 minute chart. I'm just going to scroll through and see how the 1 minute reacted to our blue lines. Those are our support and resistance lines that we drew. Really hovering around this line. And there you have it. So it does some interacting with the lines. The lines are easy to draw, they're free to draw. So it's another tool you can use to filter signals or however you want to use them. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you can maybe put some use to it. And we'll see you on the next video.